101. It is Friday, guys, and as I keep saying every single time, Friday is my best day of the week. And as always, we are here, said 101. Kama kawaida, you're with me, Ken Alan, and today, a faith and hearts. Tulipotea kidogo kwenye streets, but today we are back. Welcome. How are you feeling today, Rachel? How's your week been? Stressful? Mambo ni kuna chums ama mambo mengine. Very fine. Good to have you back in a long while. Agree. So as Rachel was saying today, we just want to help you understand your credit report. Every time you interact with us, the first thing we tell you to do is to register with us, and you can do that by dialing star 450 hash, or you can simply download our Crystal app on Play Store. When you register, the first thing you do, and the registration process is very easy. Yeah, so do you want to walk us through the registration process first? Or interact with us through our social media. Yeah. All right. So you register. So you're saying we are sending you a link. Where are we sending this link? So our customer has dialed star 450 hash, or they have downloaded the Crystal app, and they have paid their electricity through M-Pesa. Has to be a Safaricom mobile number. So the number that you use to dial star 453 hash or download the Crystal app or pay their shilling, you receive a text message. The text message has a link. All right, we have that. Yes. So Rachel, I am glad that you've explained this very clearly to me because most of the time people register for the first time. When they click on the link, they take it straight to our website, Metropol website, isn't it? And the website is really easy to remember. So you are told to enter your mobile number, and they even improve, they've written there the format to put your mobile number. So going to the reference number, most of the time we find customers coming back saying that I'm being asked to input a reference number, but I do not receive that reference number. So I love what you said that the reference number is on the text message. The last time actually the text message said it. So you get the reference number, you put immediately you click OK, your report is there. Right? So now you have downloaded your credit report. And a lot of customers that we also get, most of them do not download the reports. They just pay and they come back. Now they're asking you now who has shared my data or what's my score or how does my credit report look like. So what would you advise? Yeah. Most of the time, they say, whenever we come to sit down, then we take the food, we are not doing something like that.
Fuchs, it's me. So there you have it, guys. First things first, please download the report by yourself. Go through it page by page. Now, note down all the questions that you have. And it's a very simple document to understand, really, from where we sit, right? But if you find it a bit complex, just go through it, note down the questions as you have. Now reach back to us and ask all those questions. Don't be in a hurry that you've paid the registration fee one off, and the next thing you do is to call us back, isn't it?
True.
Because as Rachel is saying, what we will do is just to give you an overview of the report, not really a lot of details. But now, when you have it, when you're going through it yourself, you have all these details.
Yes, true.
Right? So now I have downloaded my credit report. I have it. What is on that report?
So on the first page, we'll start with your biodata.
Yeah.
By biodata, I mean it has your names, your mobile numbers, and mobile numbers is any number that is registered under your ID. So all the numbers, which means even if you've registered for a relative under your ID, the mobile number is there.
Okay.
Yes. So
So
we have the physical address.
yeah, just let me take you back a little bit. And guys, Rachel is soft spoken, so msione ni kama mimi napiga kelele. It's just that Rachel is soft spoken, and I may turn out to be a bit louder. So there are mobile numbers, and we've received this question a lot of times. Someone says that kuna manamba naona hapa si zangu, right?
Yes.
So sometimes I've also noticed that unaweza pata mobile number institution on the report, and you were just explaining earlier how in CBA, that is either Fuliza or Mshwari, sometimes you find their numbers on your report.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
And now a client asks and says, this is not my number. How do you explain that?
Mostly for any number that is reflecting on your report, that means there is a loan that was specifically taken under your name on that from that platform or from that lender.
Okay.
With such a number.
Okay.
But then it was taken under your information.
Okay.
Sometimes also, let's say there is you take a line you stopped using that line
Yes.
for some time. So which means with Safaricom, they'll sell that line within
To
3
another
months.
person.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this information was not removed from
From your report.
your report,
All
or
right.
rather, the information were not removed under that number or under your ID specifically. So this person will take a loan, but the information will come on your report because
Okay.
these details were not changed from your ID to
Transferred
their ID.
to the next person's ID.
Yes, yes.
So it's very important, guys, and especially hii mambo ya SIM card. It's very important because now sometimes you reach out to us and you're asking, you do not know this number, and when you give you the details and you go to Safaricom, you actually find that that number is registered under your ID.
Yeah, true.
And you find that, for example, maybe it's registered under, maybe your relative is using that number. So you have to be aware of all the numbers that are registered under your ID. And I think they've made it really simple these days. You can always check all the numbers that are registered under your ID.
Yes.
The other thing is, if you cease to use a mobile number, maybe you lost it or you just stopped using it, please make sure that you
Confirm the transfer of details
Yes.
from your ID
yes
on this particular number
Yes.
to be transferred to the other person.
to the next person. All right, so let's carry on. So you've talked about biodata, of course, you've said names, and there are reported names.
Yes.
Because sometimes, a few times, people reach out to us, our customers, and they say there are several names on the report.
Yes.
For example, you are Rachel Maina, as you introduced yourself earlier. So your report may have Maina Rachel, Rachel Maina, Rachel Rachel,
Yes.
Maina, something like that.
Yes.
And people think that that's a problem. Is it a problem?
It's not a problem. Reason being,
Yeah.
when you went to take a loan, there are loans that you took with Rachel Minor.
Yes.
There are loans that you applied with Minor Rachel.
Okay.
And some and that information is being sent to CRB, whereby we are just custodians of data, which means what is on your report, we just receive directly from your lenders. So which means the same information that was recorded there, which means if it's Rachel, you took a loan under Rachel. So the same information will just come directly as Rachel, this ID took this loan. So that's why they appear as reported.
So that is why they appear as reported names, because these are names as reported to us by the financial institution.
Yes.
So if you borrowed from financial institution A
Yes.
using Rachel Maina, financial institution A will just share that information with us and say, Rachel Maina has borrowed
Yes.
such a kind of amount.
Yes.
The next institution you borrow and you say Maina Rachel, that institution, that is how they'll report the names.
Yes.
So there's never a problem with the naming.
Yes.
Just that how you borrowed, that is how it is reported to us.
Yes, unless
Yes.
you have a difference in names. So
Yes.
on your report you have Rachel Minor, and on the same report you have Alan.
Yes.
So which means now you can dispute this other name if you've never guaranteed that person.
Okay.
Because mostly when you guarantee this person, it means that you are ready, or you are taking responsibility. If this person doesn't pay for this loan, I'll pay for their loan.
Okay.
So which means the loan will appear on Alan and appear on me. So these two names might end up appearing on both.
On your report.
Our
Or
reports.
both of your reports.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you took under our IDs.
Yes.
Both of us. So which means they will appear on my report and on your report. So unless you've never guaranteed someone under that name, then you can dispute these names. So you can just call or fill in dispute forms, then we'll help you, we'll guide you all this through this process, and the full process for dispute is 31 days.
So guys, your credit report is just not some simple, ordinary document that you take for granted.
Yes.
When you get the report, please check it and check it kwa makini kabisa. Look out for the names, because as Rachel is explaining, sometimes you find that it's Rachel's report, but hapo katikati mahali you find there is Ken Alan's name.
Yes.
And you're wondering, how is this name on my report?
Yes.
Now, fikiria, has Ken Alan ever taken a loan and you are a guarantor?
Yes.
If you are a guarantor, then just be sure that that is why that name is there.
Yes.
But if you've never interacted with Ken Alan ever,
Yes.
then please dispute.
Yes.
And we have a very functional dispute office.
Yes.
You can get our dispute form on our website, www.metropol.co.ke. You can also just reach out to us through our social media platforms or our call center. We will send that document to you, which you can fill and just say that you're disputing these names. It will be deleted from your credit report.
Yes.
So now we've talked about names as well. You were just talking about physical address earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have gender, you have nationality, and marital status.
And I've also noticed that sometimes the gender
Yes.
has an issue.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
sometimes or everything else is okay, but then on Rachel Minor they say male.
Male,
Yeah.
yes. Sometimes I do think it's an error, well, typing error, because every other thing is okay,
Yeah.
but then the gender
But
is
the
different.
gender.
So to me, I do think that's a typing error.
But we can always change that.
Yeah, we can change
Just reach
that.
out to us. We can change that, correct it, so that you have the correct gender. When you get your report, also, when you download it, you'll find that your name is verified, has a tick.
Yes.
Yeah?
Sure.
So that is, if it's verified, then it's as we get it from the government.
Yes, that's
right?
true. Yes.
Okay.
So we'll go next to Metro Score. On the same first page where you see your biodata,
Yeah.
there is your Metro Score.
Yes.
Our score, that is the Metropol score,
Yeah.
whereby you call in and want to know what my credit score is. That's the Metro Score on your report.
So you're saying Metro score is the same as credit score.
Yes.
So it's the same thing, guys. Do not get confused.
Yes.
If you're asking for your credit score, it is the same thing as Metro score.
Yes.
Right.
So in this, from Metropol, our score ranges between 200 and 900,
Right.
whereby 200 is a default. Which means you've really not paid your loan for the longest time, and that could be 90 days
Yeah.
and above. Yes, and 900 is the highest
Yeah.
score, which is a very good score. But I've never seen a 900.
I've never either.
I think it's because also when we were in school, there was nothing like 100%. It's either
Ukipata
98 or
100%, it's an
98.
error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but anyway. But when you have a score between 700, 800, that's a very good score.
Very
that
good
means
score.
that you're really taking your loans very well.
Yeah.
You're making payments timely, and you're really following up on how you're paying your loans. And that also, I think, rather, I'm sure the reason why you will have a good credit score is because the kind of loans that you're taking, you're paying them on time, and also you're taking your loans more often.
More often.
We are not saying that you don't take loans,
Yeah.
or rather you're in a fix and you don't want to take loans because it will affect you or remain there.
Yeah.
But taking loans also creates a very good score for you.
Yeah.
Because when you're going to the bank, they'll go through the whole credit reports. They'll confirm the kind of loans that you take, how you repay them. So if at all you only take Fuliza
Yeah.
and Mshwari,
Yeah.
your score, most of the reports that I've seen, your scores at most is 650.
Okay.
Because it depends with the kind of loans that you take and how often you take. So if you take bank loans, large loans, and you pay them on time, most of these people have a range between 750 and above.
Okay.
So which means you have a higher chance of getting a loan with the bank at a very good rate. But with this 650 and below, sometimes when you go to the bank, they'll tell you you do not qualify
Yeah.
because you are listed,
Yes.
or rather your score is low.
Is lower.
That's because your credit performances do not allow you, or they do not think you're eligible for the kind of loan you're taking. All you do is take Fuliza and Mshwari below 2,000. Now you go to the bank and you want a loan of $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, will you give me that loan? Really?
It's crazy, right? Because they
will-
look at your repayment history, the loan history, and all that.
Yes.
And it's important because in the recent past, we've been seriously talking and stressing this Metroscore topic. We've talked about credit score a lot of times, and Rachel will just explaining to us how important your credit score or your Metro score really is, and especially during this era where we are moving to
Based pricing.
risk-based pricing. You know that you're not supposed to be denied a loan,
Yes.
but that will entirely depend
Yes.
with your credit score.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's important that you usikuwe tu mtu wa kuchukua hizi mambo ndogo ndogo mix hapa na pale.
Yes, that's
take
true.
loans pale kwa bank, take loans hapa kwa simu, jaribu kumix hizi vitu so that your credit score improves.
Yes.
Because that will really help you to secure a facility.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So
Yes.
that is just basically how the Metro score looks like. And you were just talking about your payment index.
Yes.
And I guess that is the next thing you want to talk to us about.
Yes.
Yeah?
So the range between the payment performance
your
indexes.
report, you
Yes.
also see a PPI. There's
Yes.
something written PPI,
Yes.
and you're wondering what that is.
Yes.
Now, that is what Rich is telling us. That
So I'll explain it between M1 and M9.
all right?
Your M1 is, then the lower
The
your
PPI.
PPI is.
Okay.
Then the higher your Metro score is, your higher your Metro score is, the lower
The PPI.
So no, you just said that wrong. So we'll start again. The higher your Metro score, the lower
The PPI. You just said
Then
it right.
the lower the
The
Metro,
Metro
score,
the higher the
the
PPI.
PPI.
Okay.
So which means when you have a score between 700 and 800 or to 900, then your PPI will range between M1 and M2.
Thereabout.
Yes.
Yes.
When your score is below, that is between 200 to 400, then you will find you might have a Metro, the
Uko kwa
PPI
M9.
M8, M9. Uko ni red.
And our report is actually
Alichezi-
very interesting.
yeah.
There's always red, there's
Orange.
green, there's orange. So ukidownload report yako hivi and macho igongane na vitu nyekundu kabisa,
Kabisa.
just know that mambo yako si mazuri.
Kabisa.
Right? Because then you'll realize that your Metro score is
very
400
low.
and below.
Yeah.
Your PPI iko huko kwa M8, M9.
Exactly.
But when you download your report and find green, yeah,
Yeah, mambo ni mazuri inaonyesha
mambo nywe.
mambo ni mazuri.
Mambo ni
Lakini
mazuri.
pia
Yes.
usione mambo ni mazuri ukaachia hapo.
Go deeper into your
Go
credit
deeper.
report, get the details.
Yes. Unaweza pata you have a very good score.
Yes.
But kuna loan mahali inachezea numbers zinapanda tu karibu zifike 90.
Yes.
So which means utaniambia I can see I have a very good score, but I still can't get a loan. So what I'll tell you is get a credit. You can check arrears.
Yes.
Arrears. So on each table, it's divided into 5 columns.
Okay.
On the 4th column, that is where the arrears are. So ensure on each loan unaangalia hizo arrears. Hata kama
Unatupeleka
iko
mbio
na
kidogo,
1
Rachel.
day in
Hold
arrear.
that thought because Rachel is
It's
going
okay.
to explain that to us pole pole when we get there.
All right.
Today,
Let's
what
go
we are
on.
doing is just helping you understand your credit report in the simplest ways possible. Pole pole, step by step. So we've talked about your data, we've talked about your Metro score, we've talked about your PPI.
Yes.
So let's go to the next thing.
Okay. So from the PPI, we
Yeah.
have a rating analysis. It shows a table. There's a table.
Yeah.
Then under this table, it analyzes the kind of loans you have on your report.
The kind of loans you have on your report.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can be having non-depositing loans, non-deposit loans, the DFIs, that is the HELB loans.
Yes.
You have bank loans. So it has tables.
All sorts of it.
All sorts
Okay.
of loans that you have.
Okay.
So others will indicate you have 0, which means on that particular, under the banks, you've never taken a loan under the banks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the microfinances, that is Mshwari.
Yeah.
It will indicate maybe 1. So which means you've taken a loan with a microfinance once.
Okay.
Yes. So which means when you go through this report, it will show you,
Yeah.
it is actually on that particular table. It will show you all the accounts.
All the accounts.
Yes.
So there's a table, it's written credit performance, just
Yes.
how you've been performing, and you'll be
Yes.
able to see there are banks, there are
Yes.
microfinance banks, which is also written as MFB, there are SACCOs, microfinance institution, insurances, trade, fintechs, non-deposit taking SACCOs and deposit taking SACCOs, as Rachel was mentioning earlier, and DFIs.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. So under the same, it will show you the accounts that you have.
Yes.
So you might find that you've taken a loan with a bank severally.
Yes.
So when you take a loan with a bank once,
Yes.
that's one account.
That is one account.
Yes, they
Okay.
create it as one account.
Okay.
You pay that loan and the account is closed on our end. You take another loan, that's account 2.
That is account 2.
So which means on your report on that, on the credit performance, they have, when you analyze the report, you'll realize you have different loans. Yes, they are repaid.
Yes.
And others are performing, but with the accounts, there are several. So
There are several.
counting them, you might find that they are either 10, 12. So when on the
Depending
banks,
with the number of loans you've ever taken.
yes, on that,
Okay.
on the banks.
Okay.
So could be either bank from bank A, B, C, D. So we'll outline all of them then, right? All accounts are 20. So that's the first thing you see.
So you've just said banks, and I've remembered something. Someone has just been taking mobile loans, all right? They have never opened a bank account in their lives.
Yes.
They've only been taking mobile loans. Amekuwa tu akichukua zile loans za simu every time hajawahi fungua account yoyote ya bank.
Yes.
So akichukua report yake, anaona pale kwa banks ameandikwa all accounts ni 8. For example, anashangaa mi sina bank account.
Yeah.
How then do I have 8 accounts under banks?
Okay, you have 8 accounts because I've taken a mobile loan.
Yes.
KCB has KCB mobile loans. So which means that account, that's one account.
So kuna KCB M-Pesa, hizo ndo unaita mobile loans.
Yes.
KCB M-Pesa, salary advance, such things.
You take them on mobile phone. That's a KCB mobile loan,
Yes.
KCB M-Pesa. You've taken another loan with, let's give a...
Mshwari.
We have Mshwari.
Yes.
They create accounts, but it's under a certain bank. That's NCBA bank. So which means when you're counting the banks, all these banks have a different account. And when you check on your report, it has different account numbers.
So watu wangu, if you've realized, kwa hii table yetu ya credit performance, hakuna mahali imeandikwa mobile loans.
Yes.
Okay? So utapata banks and all these other things that we have listed.
Yes.
So unapata unachukuanga mikopo ya simu peke yake. And now you're wondering, mbona niko kwa banks?
Yes.
So what Rachel is helping us understand is, ukichukua for example kama KCB M-Pesa, it is listed under banks because it is under a bank.
Yes.
Ukichukua kama Mshwari, and as she was explaining earlier, hii Mshwari iko under NCBA.
Yes.
So inakuwa under a bank.
Yes.
So unapata a total of your bank loans ziko 12 na unashanga hauna bank account.
Yeah,
so that is exactly what happens.
Yes.
Okay, great.
So on the same, you have, it will show you whether you have a non-performing account, performing accounts,
Yeah.
whether you have a history of late payment, that's a default.
And speaking of history,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
sometimes, most of the times actually, mtu amechukua mkopo wake amelipa.
Yes.
Anataka hiyo information itolewe kwa report yake immediately because the thing they say is, najaribu kuchukua hii loan hapa na nanyimwa kwa sababu kuna hii loan nyingine ambayo nililipa kuchelewa.
Yes.
Tafadhali, delete that thing from my report so I'll be able to take this account.
Yes.
And they say that this is why nyinyi Metropol CRB ndo mnafanya nisipate loan. Tafadhali delete that thing. Is that possible?
It's not possible for us to delete because we, the CRB, take command from the bank. So
Okay.
which means what they say is what we do. So they are the ones to send us information to say this particular loan was paid, delete this account or update this account. So for your account to be deleted from non-performing, that particular account to be deleted takes 5 years.
5 years.
But then for that account to be deleted off your report, your lender so information that particular account. Yes.
So we want you to understand that our business is basically information sharing.
Yes.
All right? We share information with the financial institutions, but also you have to understand that our business, we just don't wake up and make these rules.
Yeah, that's true.
Our business is regulated by the CBK.
Yes.
Okay, so whatever we do is by law.
Yes.
And as Rachel is explaining, we can only delete an account. That is by law. It's automatic that from the last day of payment,
Yes.
that account will be automatically deleted from your report.
Yes.
So you have to understand that.
Yes.
You can't pay a loan today and tomorrow you're asking us to delete
Yes,
it.
that's true.
It doesn't work like
No,
that.
it doesn't.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. So on and after seeing that table, just down there's the total outstanding amount. So which means when you download that report, you've
Yeah.
seen biodata, the analysis, credit performances.
Yeah.
Then on the third page, which mostly some of us see as it's total outstanding balance, then the rest of it is blank.
Yes.
So tunaachia hapo. So hapo inakuonyesha the total outstanding balance is the loan, all the loans on your report.
All the loans.
All the loans on your report. So which means, yes, you have an overdue. There's a loan you are late. There's a loan you took, it wasn't updated. It's still reading on your report. There's a running loan you have. So we've compiled all the totals and written there as total outstanding balance. Then if you have a dispute that is on your report, the loan is on your report, disputed this.
Yeah.
So which means once you're disputing this, we are going to indicate that account as a dispute. So we'll indicate it on your report. You either have one disputed account, two
Clearly,
disputed
you can be
accounts.
able to see.
Yes.
Okay.
You can see that on the report. Yes.
So we've gotten a lot of questions around total outstanding loans,
Yes.
right? And I think what I'm understanding from what you're saying is all the active loans
On your
summed up.
report. Yes.
Ninakuwa total outstanding.
Yes.
Because sometimes you get absurd,
Yes. Questions
you know,
about the same.
Yeah. And you're wondering, someone is like, there is at like almost 200,000 outstanding, and I do not have any such kind of loan. In fact, when they read it, they think that is a loan that they have.
Yeah, on one loan.
On one loan.
Yeah.
So now you have to explain to them that please open your report on
Yes.
page number 7,
Yes,
and you can
one.
see that you have 50,000 for KCB. They said
Yes.
ni kweli. You have 20,000 hapa ni kweli.
Yes.
So when you sum all this up, now
Yes.
it's total outstanding loan.
Yes.
Okay, well understood. So now you get to now start seeing small tables,
Yes.
and you're wondering, okay, so now zingine ni red, zingine ni orange, as we were saying, zingine ni green.
Yeah.
So now when you move and you see that the first thing on the top is non-performing loans.
Yes.
What are non-performing loans?
Non-performing loans, this is a loan that you took and you are late in making payment for more than 90 days, which
Okay.
led on when you call us or we tell you, or when you ask who has shared your data, we'll tell you have a negative listing with that specific account. So when you download your report, it's written as non-performing account.
So when you're telling, when a customer reaches out to us and we tell them that you are negatively listed by A, B, C, D, on your credit report, that is what is referred to as a non-performing loan.
And
guys,
it's red.
mostly it's red.
Yes.
Danger.
It's
Ukiona
shining red.
danger, kimbia. So we are taking questions, guys, and this is your chance to ask any question you have about your credit report or about CRB in general. We are live on Facebook. Run there, Metropol. Type, check your questions.
Yes.
So Rachel, Non-performing, you've explained that
Yes.
you're supposed to pay this loan. Say, for example, you've taken a basic mobile loan and you're
Yes.
lipa hiyo loan.
Yes.
What happens imeisha? Are you negatively listed immediately, or what happens?
No, you're not.
Yeah.
So just like Alan has said, you're supposed to pay for a loan within 1 month.
Yes.
So today is 22nd.
Yes.
This there's a loan you took in February 22nd.
Yes.
You are supposed to pay by today,
Yes.
22nd. So you've not paid this loan.
Yes.
So as at tomorrow, we'll start counting a day in arrear.
Okay.
So on your report, you have 1 day in arrear.
Okay.
So within 3 months of counting these arrears, that's 90 days. That is now when you have a non-performing loan, and it is listed on your report as with red.
And you know, the good thing is, those days in arrears are actually recorded in your credit report.
Yes, that's true.
So when you get your credit report, you're able to see that there is a loan that already imechelewa.
Yes.
So if you had paid it, it's upon you to follow up with the financial institution
Yes.
so that it can be updated.
Yes.
So the days in arrears are well indicated.
Yes, they
so
are.
now we start counting days in arrears day 1 after the 30th day.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And how many days in arrears before you're negatively listed?
90 days.
90 days.
Yes.
That's a whole 3 months, guys.
Yeah,
You're
sure.
given a whole 3 months period just to make sure that you clear your loan and you're not negatively listed.
Yes.
Now, before you're negatively listed, also, the financial institutions will always remind you.
Yeah,
They'll send you
that's
an
true.
email, they'll send you a text message.
Yes.
It's called notice of listing.
Yes.
So you get a notice of listing before you are negatively listed. Sometimes tunaamua kukua vichwa ngumu tu. You get these messages, you've already known that at 11 a.m. every day, institution A wanatumanga message.
Yes.
So you just check, you don't even read it.
Yeah.
You delete or maybe you just discard.
Yes.
So what these financial institutions are doing, guys, wanakutumia kitu inaitwa notice of listing. Wewe endelea tu ignore that information, endelea tu ignore that message.
Yes.
When it hits the 90, you will be negatively listed.
Yes.
So pale kwa report yako hiyo ndio inaonyesha kama non-performing loan.
Yes.
Then there is performing with default history. What are these loans?
So performing with default history means at a certain point, this loan was non-performing, which means you were late in making payment for more than 90 days.
Okay.
But then you started repaying this loan. So which means it's an active loan now, or you repaid it in full. But then it will show there was a point where you were late in making payment.
Okay.
So that's why it has a history of default.
So we have just talked about an unperforming account.
Yes.
Now we are talking about a performing account with default history.
Yes.
Basically, what you're saying, if I'm understanding you, is you have paid this loan,
Yes.
maybe in partial or in completion,
Yes.
but you've paid past time.
Yes.
So
Yes.
because now it's but the
has a
history
history.
remains. So the history will remain on your report.
Yes.
And this is what we were explaining earlier. We said that history remains for 5 years
Yes.
before it's deleted.
Yes.
And the deletion applies both performing and non-performing, isn't it?
Yes.
From the last date of payment.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Then now we have performing accounts.
Accounts, that's a loan that you're taking, or you've taken,
Yeah.
paid, or actively paid. And there is a point where you might have arrears.
Yeah.
It's not yet in default, but it's still performing.
It's performing, but you're on arrears.
Yes, it will be listed as a performing loan.
Aha.
But then when you check arrears, it has arrears.
It has days in arrears.
Yes. So you will
Imeandikwa hapo clearly.
Yes. So you'll check your report and say, I do not have a non-performing loan, but I still can't access a loan.
Yeah.
That's because under one of your performing loans, you have arrears. So kindly go deep into your report. Check if my score is good. I have performing loans.
Yeah.
So why don't I get loans? That means under these loans, there's a loan, could be 1 or 2, that has arrears. Could be even 1 day in arrear.
Yeah.
Which can affect you
Can
greatly
affect you, yeah?
from not accessing a loan.
Okay. And this is what Rachel was explaining earlier when I asked her to hold that thought. Because ukiangalia ripoti yako juujuu, the first page unaona mambo ni mazuri, it's green as we were saying, and you're wondering, how comes I'm not able to get a facility now?
Yes.
Because hizi days in arrears, guys, zinakuzuia kupata mkopo mwingine.
Yes.
So always just check out, always look, and dawa ya deni ni kulipa. As we always say, dawa ya deni ni kulipa, na si kulipa tu, kulipa kwa wakati unaofaa.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that your credit score improves and you're able to get other credit facilities.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you were talking about disputed accounts earlier.
Yes.
Umekuja hapa, uko na ripoti yako, unapata now, umetuambia you have never opened an account with in financial institution A, for example.
Yes.
And for real, you've never opened an account with them.
Yes.
You've looked to upande wa mobile banking ama mobile loans. Umepata, you've never taken a mobile loan with them.
Yes.
And now there is this account on your report that you know absolutely nothing about.
Yes.
So how do you deal with this?
So once you tell us such an issue, we'll send you a dispute form.
Yeah.
You'll fill it in. Within the first 2 weeks of us following with your institution and realize it's a dispute, or they give us an information of a dispute, it will be the first thing you see on your report.
Yes.
It will be indicated there, disputed account.
Okay.
It will be indicated. So don't you worry when you're going to take a loan and you can see your report is written as disputed account. Your bank can also confirm it's a disputed account.
Yeah.
So which means while accessing a loan, or when they are checking your report to give you a loan, they will not use the disputed account.
Okay. That will not affect you.
That shouldn't affect you as
Because
long as it's a disputed
it's a disputed account.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's indicated. Don't go telling them, I've disputed this account, so don't use this account. They will not actually use that information. They'll need to see that on your report.
It has to be indicated on your report.
Indicated on your report.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so that is, I know earlier we were talking about other things that we can dispute. You can dispute a name, maybe you want your physical address changed, or your gender, or things like those. But also, there are few times that you get your credit report and there are accounts or an account that do not belong to you, or maybe that you had paid earlier and it has never been updated.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you just follow up with your financial institution. They help you with that. If you want to dispute it, as Rachel was mentioning, we have that office that deals with disputes. Absolutely. You can get the dispute form on our website, www.metropol.co.ke. You can reach out to us on our social media handles, which I'll be sharing with you later. We will send you that dispute form. You can call our call center. We will also be sharing those details with you as we finish. And we will send you the dispute form. You fill it, scan it back to us, and we will make sure that the information on your credit report is accurate as it should be.
Yes.
It happens every time that I give you a call, Rachel, and I want to check a credit report for someone else.
Yes.
Is it possible?
No, it's not.
Because sometimes I say I just want to check a credit report for my wife. We are married. I mean, we're living in the same house.
I know.
Why not?
I know.
Yeah.
But due to data protection, you're really not allowed to do that.
Okay.
You can call on her behalf, but me who is helping you here, I'll need to hear her consent.
Yes.
Telling me it's okay, you can read the report to him.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Even if you walk into our offices saying, I have my husband's or my wife's ID, kindly check this. Yes, you have your ID. I do not disagree. I can see the ID.
Okay.
But I'll not read you the report.
You will not check the report.
I will not do. I'll do no such thing. Not unless that particular person gives me the consent of doing it. So if you're calling us and you tell me, I'm checking, mostly we get, I'm helping my mom check, or I'm helping my dad check.
Because they're old and they do not understand these things, they're not able to do, so will you just help me?
We'll understand that part.
Yeah.
We will help, but I'll need to hear your dad's or your mom's voice in it. I'll require him or her to read me the details, then give me the consent. You can read the information to my son or my daughter. I'll do that.
Okay.
But then if they are not there and they have just given you their particulars and told you, check for me, I'll not do such.
It doesn't happen.
Yes. So if you're checking on your end and you feel like you're not getting enough help, or by calling, most people wanasema, niangalilie tu, haelewi Kiswahili ni sawa,
yeah.
haelewi, but aniambie tu ni sawa, unaweza soma. I'm sure we can say that word. So as long as anaweza nipea tu consent, I'll do it. And if you feel like that will be a long process, you can also dial *433 on your end.
Okay. That's how serious your data is. That's how seriously we treat your data. It's not a mediocre thing here.
Yes.
And that's just basically how seriously we treat this information.
Yes.
Data protection iko hapa, hatuwezi somea mtu mwingine yoyote report yako, and that is why we have channels or avenues where you can actually do that for yourself. As Rachel was saying, just dial simple *433# request for your credit report. We will send it to you on text message, as Rachel was sharing earlier. You can be able to go through it, or you can download our Cristobal app on Play Store. You can be able to get your credit report. Rachel, I don't know if there is anything you want to add as we finish, but I honestly feel like it's been a very good session. You have taken the time to slowly but surely explain to the clients just how the credit report looks like.
There is one more thing I'd like to touch on.
Yes.
When you're going through your report on the tables, now we've advised go through the full report. Until the last part you can see is the last information you can see there is the events, if you have any bounced checks, if you've ever guaranteed someone, that's the last thing you see on your reports. And you completely say there's nothing else on that report. What I'd advise is on each table, because on our report, just like we mentioned, when you take a loan, it's treated as an account on your report. So on each account, there's a lender. And on each table, it's divided into 5 columns.
Okay.
Yes. So the 5 columns have